Hey GED students, it's GED question of the daytime. And one of the things that comes up on the non-calculator section of the GED is what's called undefined expressions. They want you to know what kinds of numbers don't exist, or at least don't exist in the number system we're using. That feels a little weird. You're like, what do you mean they don't exist? Well, there's basically two instances that you have to know for the GED. The first is that the bottom of a fraction cannot have a zero because we can't divide by zero. So that's one thing. If I try to have a zero on the bottom of my fraction, I don't care what's up on top. It could be 5, it could be 17, it could be, x minus 3 times the quantity of y plus 17t. I don't care how gross it is on top. The bottom of a fraction cannot be zero. So that's one way you could make a fraction undefined. Why? Because we can't divide by zero. We've never known how to divide by zero, and we don't suddenly know it now. Okay, so that's undefined, at least among the number systems you know and that we're supposed to know for the GED, okay? So that's one kind of problem. Now here's the other kind, okay? So this says, which of the following values of x would make the expression undefined? And choose that all that apply. Take a look at my expression. Notice this symbol? That little check mark house or radical is telling me to find the square root of all of this. And there's something super important you need to know about square roots. So we wrote the super important thing you need to know about fractions. Fractions can't have a zero in the denominator. But what's the super important thing about square roots? Here we go. I want to show you something and about square roots by looking at the opposite of a square root. The opposite of a square root is squaring, or raising something to the second power. And I want to show you something that happens. I want you to imagine that you took the number 3 and you squared it. You multiplied it by itself. 3 times 3 would give you 9. Now I want you to imagine that you took the number -3. Notice that I'm enclosing it in parentheses because I want to take that whole thing and square it. Well, let's think about what would happen. -3 times -3. 3 times 3 is 9. And a negative times a negative is a positive. That's super interesting. So what does that mean to us? That means that when you square a positive number, you get a positive answer. And when you square a negative number, you still get a positive answer. So when we look at the opposite of that, that means that if we were to take the square root of 9, that answer, it could have come from a 3 or it could have come from a -3. We usually just assume a positive 3. But if I were to go backwards and try to take the square root of -9, take a look at this. No matter what I squared, whether it was positive or -3, I never did get -9. And so I cannot really take this square root of -9, at least not among the real numbers. And so I call this undefined on the real number system. There's not a real number that I could come up with that would be equal to the square root of -9. This thing's undefined. I don't have an answer. That's what I'm trying to say. And so the basic point, this is the thing you need to write down if you are tuning out on me, haven't been paying attention, is that the inside of a square root has a name. It's called the radicand. Cannot be negative. Now you might say, Kate, how in the world, if it's negative, then it's undefined. If it's negative, then it's undefined. Negative equals undefined. So now they asked me to find a weird thing in this question. They actually asked me to find the values that it can't be, the values that would make it undefined. So we've got some answers here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to plug them in and see if they give me a negative number. Let's start with 5 first. So 2 times 5 minus 5. Notice that I just took the inside of the square root, the radicand, and I want to see if it's going to end up being a negative. So 2 times 5 is 10. Minus 5 is 5. That's a positive number. I could take the square root of 5. Square root of 5 is totally possible. So that would not make my expression undefined. I'm going to cross out that first answer. It's not 5. Let's try it with 3. So 2 times 3. Again, I'm just putting in this value for x and seeing what happens to the inside of the square root, the radicand. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 5 is 1. Still a positive answer. I'm safe. We're not in the land of negatives. 3 would be fine. Okay, now let's take a look what happens if I turned x into 0. What if x were 0? Okay, 2 times 0 minus 5. Well, 2 times 0 is, of course, just 0, and 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Take a look. If I had a 0 right in here for x, I would end up with a negative radicand. I would end up with a negative inside my square root. And we said when you have a negative inside a square root, that answer is undefined. And so C would make this expression undefined. Now, careful, don't stop and assume you're done. This question does say choose all that apply. So let's keep trying. Let's try negative 3. Don't assume just because it's negative, it's going to make our answer be negative in the end, our entire expression. We've got to plug it in and see what happens. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And if I were to subtract 5 from negative 6, I'd be really in debt. I'd be all the way to negative 11. And you can see, oh my goodness, I would end up with a negative radicand. Again, I would end up with a negative under a square root. And so that wouldn't work either. That would give me an undefined answer. Whew. So which of the following values of x would make the expression undefined? C or D would both do that. Great. If you have any questions about this or any other GED math topic, be sure to drop it in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it.